Are you still feeding your animals the same old processed feed and watching your bills skyrocket? But what if I told you there's a secret from the Amish that could totally change the game? It's not some fancy supplement or high-tech gadget. It's something far more natural, simple, and shockingly effective. And it only costs $1. This isn't just about cutting costs. It's about keeping your animals healthier, happier, and thriving in ways you never thought possible. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be wondering why you haven't tried this already. Let's dive into how the Amish are saving big while feeding their animals like never before. The Amish way of feeding animals. All right, here's the deal. The Amish have been doing this for decades, and let's just say they don't need the latest pet food trends or expensive supplements to keep their animals in tip-top shape. We're talking about natural foraging, feeding on garden scraps, and even leftovers from local businesses. Yes, leftovers. It might sound crazy, but stick with me because it works, and it's changing the game. While most of us are throwing money into bags of expensive commercial feed, the Amish are focused on what's free, accessible, and most importantly, healthy. Now I know what you're thinking. Animals can't survive on scraps, right? But the Amish have figured something out that many modern farms overlook. Their animals are not just surviving, they're thriving. They've learned that animals are perfectly capable of grazing, foraging, and snacking on the same stuff we often throw away. Imagine the freedom of not being tied down to processed bags of animal feed. The Amish have created a system where their animals are allowed to do what comes naturally, wander the land in search of food. And trust me, they know how to make the most out of what's around them. The best part? This isn't some outdated, quirky tradition. It's an innovative approach that's both cost-effective and sustainable. We live in a time where everything seems to be about cutting costs and maximizing efficiency, and the Amish have been ahead of the curve for years. Their simple methods reduce dependence on commercial feed, save time, and even make use of things many would consider waste. Now here's where it gets interesting. Instead of focusing on providing store-bought grains and pellets, they let their chickens, goats, pigs, cows, and even rabbits graze on what's available in their own backyard or neighboring areas. Whether it's weeds, wildflowers, or the abundance of growing grass, these animals are happily munching away on natural food, which is much closer to what they would eat in the wild. Even better, it's free. And here's another key point. It's not just about what grows around their farms. The Amish have mastered the art of using food scraps, things like stale bread, overripe fruits, and even vegetable trimmings. These might be considered waste in the modern world, but for farm animals, they're a treasure trove of nutrient-rich snacks. Leftover produce from local businesses or food banks is often repurposed and fed to animals that thrive on it. You can imagine how much food gets thrown out in cities and towns every day. Perfectly good food that could feed animals and reduce waste at the same time. But what's even cooler is how this method benefits local economies and reduces food waste. By connecting with nearby businesses, farmers create an entire local network of resources. What's typically discarded becomes a valuable resource that's good for the planet, good for the animals, and good for your wallet. How it works. The secret to Amish animal feeding. The Amish method of animal feeding, centered on rotational grazing, is a powerful yet simple approach that emphasizes sustainability and natural farming practices. Rather than relying on high-cost commercial feeds or artificial additives, the Amish allow their animals to graze on the bounty of their land, utilizing two key principles to keep their livestock healthy and thriving. In this system, their animals take advantage of their natural ability to scavenge for food. This approach not only supports the animals' well-being, but also promotes a harmonious relationship between the animals and the environment. The first principle, foraging, is often underestimated in modern farming systems. While most conventional farms rely heavily on prepackaged feed that is often full of chemicals, antibiotics, and preservatives, the Amish recognize that animals have evolved to forage and graze on a variety of plants. Chickens peck at seeds and insects, cows munch on grasses, and goats nibble on shrubs and weeds. Left to roam freely, they seek out a diverse array of plants that provide all the nutrients they need. The key here is giving the animals the freedom to forage in their natural environment, rather than confining them to a diet of processed feed. However, foraging alone would not be enough to ensure the health of both the animals and the land. This is where the second principle, rotational grazing, comes in. The Amish divide their land into different sections, rotating the animals through these pastures on a regular basis. This method prevents overgrazing and allows each pasture the time it needs to regenerate and recover. Without rotation, animals would deplete the same patch of grass over time, leading to soil degradation and poor plant growth. By rotating the animals between different sections, the pastures stay healthy and productive. Rotational grazing is an essential practice that has several benefits, both for the environment and the animals. For one, it helps maintain soil health by giving the land a chance to rest between grazing periods. When animals graze on one section, they naturally fertilize it with manure, which returns nutrients to the soil. This natural fertilization process eliminates the need for chemical fertilizers, reducing the farm's reliance on synthetic inputs. As a result, the soil becomes richer in nutrients, which supports the growth of new plants for future grazing. This cycle of grazing, resting, and regenerating ensures that pastures remain lush and full of healthy plants for the long term. In addition to improving soil quality, rotational grazing also helps boost the animals' immune systems and overall health. Unlike animals that are fed processed commercial feeds, those raised using rotational grazing tend to experience fewer health problems. This healthier diet is also responsible for the animal's resilience against diseases. Commercial feed is often associated with digestive problems, obesity, and a host of other ailments that can affect livestock. By feeding their animals a varied diet of fresh, natural food, the Amish ensure that their livestock stay fit and robust, minimizing the need for medications and lowering veterinary costs. The result is a more cost-effective and low-maintenance approach to animal husbandry. One of the most profound outcomes of the Amish feeding method is its ability to reduce waste. Commercial feed often comes with excess packaging and involves transportation from distant places, adding to pollution and waste. By utilizing local foraging, the Amish minimize the need for transportation, packaging, and other wasteful practices that contribute to environmental degradation. This self-sustaining model is a striking example of how farming can coexist with nature without causing harm to the planet. So the Amish method of animal feeding is a prime example of how traditional farming practices can lead to more sustainable, healthier, and environmentally friendly systems. It's not just about saving money on feed. It's about creating a resilient, holistic farming ecosystem where animals, land, and farmers all benefit. The $1 Amish hack: grocery store scraps. Now here's the real gem of Amish farming wisdom. This hack is so simple that you'll wonder why you didn't think of it first. Amish farmers have cracked the code on how to feed their animals for nearly nothing, and it involves building relationships with local grocery stores and bakeries. They swoop in to collect food scraps that would otherwise be tossed. Think fruits, vegetables, stale bread, and other leftovers, and repurpose them as animal feed. The best part? It's all free, and it's helping cut down on waste in the process. This strategy is the epitome of sustainability. Instead of letting perfectly good food go to landfills, Amish farmers give it new life by feeding it to their livestock. It's not just cost-effective, it's brilliant for the environment too. Imagine saving money while reducing food waste. What's not to love? I've tried it myself, and let me tell you, my chickens go absolutely wild for melon rinds. Ducks? They'll dive into leftover salad greens like they're dining at a five-star restaurant. The trick to making this work is to build rapport with your local grocery store or bakery manager. They usually have no problem giving away scraps, especially when it means they don't have to deal with the hassle of throwing it away. You'd be surprised how much food gets tossed out every day, and most businesses would rather give it to someone who can use it than watch it go to waste. Once you have a deal in place, your animals will be eating like royalty while you save a small fortune on feed. This dollar hack isn't just about feeding animals cheaply. It's a whole system that supports sustainability, cuts down on waste, and helps your farm run on a shoestring budget. The Amish have mastered the art of frugality, and it's a practice worth adopting if you want to maximize your resources without sacrificing quality. Plus, the animals love it, and they'll return the favor by giving you fresh eggs, milk, or meat. Free-range chickens, nature's pest control. Let's talk about chickens, the ultimate multitaskers of the homestead. Forget the pricey bags of commercial feed. You don't need them, and honestly, neither do your birds. Amish farmers allow their chickens to wander freely, munching on insects, seeds, and weeds straight from the earth. These feathered foragers are like walking garbage disposals with wings, constantly tidying up your property while staying well fed. Chickens are absolute champs when it comes to pest control. If your garden is plagued by caterpillars or grasshoppers, release your flock, and they'll eliminate those pests right away. But here's the catch. Don't throw everything their way. Chickens may be hardy, but even they have limits. Raw potatoes, chocolate, avocado, or onions. Those are a no-go. Feeding them, these can cause serious health problems, so it's important to know what to avoid. However, when it comes to safe scraps and leftovers, chickens are all in. I've watched hens squabble over a single slice of bread as if it were a golden treasure. Toss a pile of veggie peels or stale bread their way, and it's like you've declared a royal feast in the barnyard. Here's the beauty of it. Not only do your chickens stay happy and healthy, but you're also cutting down on food waste and slashing your feed expenses to nearly nothing. Plus, they're giving back with nutrient-rich manure that's perfect for your garden. These industrious birds are a win for your wallet, your garden, and your homestead's ecosystem. Chickens are far more than just egg layers. They're a sustainable, cost-effective way to manage pests, recycle kitchen scraps, and keep your soil fertile. You'll save money, grow healthier plants, and, let's be real, enjoy some of the best barnyard entertainment around. Rabbits, the eco-friendly gardeners. Next up, rabbits, your garden's fluffiest allies. These little herbivores are like nature's cleanup crew, working tirelessly to nibble away at trimmings, clippings, and those pesky weeds that keep popping up. Amish farmers have perfected the art of rabbit care by skipping pricey commercial pellets entirely. Instead, they offer a smorgasbord of greens and leftovers straight from their gardens. It's a win-win. Your bunnies stay well-fed, and your yard gets an effortless makeover. But don't just toss them anything green. Some plants are off the menu. Iceberg lettuce, garlic, and rhubarb leaves are big no-nos. Iceberg lettuce in particular has almost no nutritional value and can upset their delicate stomachs. Think of rabbits as little food critics who know what's good for them. They're happy to feast on nutrient-rich options like dandelion greens, carrot tops, and clover. Even the odds and ends you'd usually compost, like slightly wilted parsley, become a gourmet meal for these furballs. Here's the real kicker. Rabbits are like walking fertilizer factories. Their droppings, often nicknamed bunny berries, are an exceptional source of nutrients for your soil. Unlike some other types of manure, rabbit waste doesn't need to be composted before being added to your garden. It's basically ready-made plant food delivered straight from your furry friends. And let's not forget, they're ridiculously low maintenance. Rabbits are perfectly content with minimal attention as long as they have food, water, and a cozy space to call home. Plus, their natural instincts keep them from overeating harmful plants, making them ideal companions for homesteaders looking to maintain a sustainable cycle. From reducing waste to providing top-notch fertilizer, these cuddly creatures are an essential part of a thrifty, eco-conscious homestead. All that, and they're adorable too. What's not to love? Ducks, the ultimate pest exterminators. Let's give some love to ducks, those quirky, waddling powerhouses of pest control. These feathery workers are like nature's version of pest exterminators, and they do it all without any chemicals or fancy gadgets. Slugs, snails, weeds, and even those pesky beetles hiding in your garden, ducks see them as a buffet. Amish farmers know the secret. There's no need for costly commercial feed when ducks thrive best on what nature offers. Let them roam free, and they'll do the hard work of tidying up while keeping themselves well fed. Here's a fun fact. Ducks don't just patrol the obvious spots. They'll poke around in corners, under shrubs, and anywhere bugs might be hiding. It's like they have a built-in radar for pests. Whether it's a slug infestation or weeds trying to take over your yard, these waddling pest busters will handle it, leaving your garden looking pristine. And unlike chickens, they're less likely to scratch up your plants while hunting for their next snack. One important reminder: skip the bread. Feeding ducks bread can mess up their digestion and even lead to health problems. Instead, let them feast on bugs, overripe veggies, or even fallen fruits you'd otherwise discard. Ducks will gladly clean up your yard while helping you reduce waste. And let's not overlook their incredible benefits beyond pest control. These hard-working birds reward you with fresh, nutrient-rich eggs that are larger and richer than chicken eggs. They're also incredibly entertaining to watch. Whether they're splashing in a kiddie pool or waddling in formation, ducks bring charm to your homestead. The ducks might just be the most underrated helpers you'll ever have. Barn cats, the hunters. Even in the world of Amish farming, barn cats have a critical role to play in the delicate balance of the homestead ecosystem. You might think that barn cats are just your typical pampered pets, but that's far from the truth. These cats are hard workers. They're out there every day, patrolling your barn, yard, and fields, hunting for rodents. And the best part? They're not expecting a fancy meal for their efforts. No need to buy expensive bags of cat food. Barn cats thrive on their hunting success, picking up a meal after a successful hunt or nibbling on leftover scraps. Trust me, they're not picky, and they're not relying on you to foot the bill for their food. You might be imagining the stereotypical image of a cat lapping up milk, but that's actually a myth. Barn cats are better off without it. Dairy can cause them digestive issues, so stick to giving them clean scraps, and they'll thank you by keeping your barn free of pests. Let them live their best lives, chasing mice, exploring your fields, and keeping everything in check. Amish farmers understand that their cats are not just pets, they're essential workers. Barn cats have a job to do, and they take it seriously. These feline hunters roam the barn and its perimeter, catching rodents before they can become a real issue. It's remarkable how effective they are. In fact, I've watched my own barn cats catch mice in the blink of an eye, long before I even noticed the little invaders. It's almost like they have an internal radar for pests. What's even better is that these cats don't need to be coddled or overfed. They're self-sufficient, thriving on their hunting skills. They're also incredibly resourceful, managing to stay fit and healthy while performing their role as the ultimate pest control team. And let's not forget the bonus. They double as cuddly companions. After a long day of chasing mice, they're more than happy to curl up beside you, purring contentedly as if to say, "Job well done." Growing your own feed, sustainable homesteading. Here's another Amish farming secret that's both genius and budget-friendly: growing your own animal feed. Rather than spending a fortune on bags of store-bought pellets, Amish farmers take control by planting their own crops: corn, alfalfa, soybeans, and more. This approach not only slashes feed costs, but also guarantees that their animals are getting the best, freshest food possible, packed with essential nutrients. Alfalfa is one of the standout crops. It's a nutritional powerhouse, rich in fiber, protein, and vitamins, making it ideal for goats, cows, rabbits, and even chickens. Not only does it keep your animals healthy, but it's also incredibly easy to grow, making it a perfect choice for anyone looking to save money and provide their livestock with top-notch feed. And because it grows quickly and in abundance, you're always stocked up without having to depend on expensive bags from the store. But growing your own feed isn't just about having fresh crops for your animals, it's about self-sufficiency. Amish farmers know that by planting and harvesting their own feed, they're building a more resilient farming system. They're no longer at the mercy of fluctuating market prices for grains and pellets. Instead, they've created a sustainable cycle where their crops feed their animals, and the animals' manure helps fertilize the soil, creating even better crops the next season. It's a closed-loop system that's as efficient as it gets. For anyone interested in sustainable farming, this method is an absolute game-changer. Growing your own feed doesn't just save you money, it also gives you peace of mind. You know exactly what's in the food your animals are eating. There are no hidden chemicals, no mystery ingredients. It's fresh, organic, and nutritious. Plus, it's a great way to teach yourself more about farming, crop rotation, and working with the land. You can also get creative with the kinds of crops you grow. While corn and alfalfa are staples, don't be afraid to experiment with other plants that might benefit your specific animals. Think about planting oats for your chickens, or even barley for your pigs. The options are endless, and the more you grow, the less you have to rely on external sources for your animal feed. At the end of the day, this practice is all about taking control of your farm's future. Growing your own feed means you're building a more sustainable and self-sufficient homestead, all while saving money and ensuring that your animals are getting the best possible nutrition. It's a win on every front. Why it's worth it. So what's the verdict? Will this really work for me? Absolutely. By embracing these straightforward, sustainable methods, you're not just cutting costs. You're enhancing the well-being of your animals and improving the overall health of your farm. We're talking about giving your livestock a natural, fresh diet from the land instead of relying on overpriced, processed feed. This isn't some trendy shortcut. It's a time-tested approach that the Amish have perfected over centuries, and it's high time we take notes. In an era where prices seem to climb with every passing day, this method gives you control over your farm's future. With the high cost of commercial feed eating away at profits, using practices like foraging, collecting scraps, and rotational grazing allows you to dramatically reduce your dependency on expensive grains and pellets. Nature has already provided everything your animals need, so why not let them eat from it? Chickens, cows, and goats all thrive on what's readily available in your environment. And that means a lot more savings in your pocket. It's fresh, nutritious, and most importantly, free. But the true value doesn't just lie in the money you save. It's about creating a long-lasting, sustainable farming system. Rotational grazing alone not only ensures your animals are well fed, but it gives your land a chance to recover and regenerate. Healthier soil, richer pastures, and a more self-sustaining farm. This is the investment that pays off for years to come. It's not a quick fix, but it builds resilience, both for your farm and the environment. And let's not overlook the health of your animals. When they eat fresh, natural food instead of processed feed filled with chemicals, their immune systems grow stronger, they experience fewer health issues, and they're happier overall. Healthier animals lead to better performance, whether it's in egg production, milk yield, or simply a thriving, happy herd. Whether you're running a small homestead or a larger farm, these Amish-inspired techniques are flexible and scalable. They don't require complicated systems or major investments, just a little planning and the willingness to think outside the feed bag. The best part? It's easy, affordable, and incredibly effective. So why not give it a try? You'll be saving money, boosting your animal's health, and promoting a more sustainable farming future, all by embracing a method that stood the test of time. The bottom line is simple. It's absolutely worth it. So there you have it. The $1 Amish trick to feeding your animals more healthily. It's sustainable, cost-effective, and incredibly simple. The next time you're tempted to buy that overpriced bag of feed, think about the scraps, weeds, and partnerships you could be leveraging instead. Your animals will thank you, your wallet will thank you, and honestly, you might just find yourself enjoying the process a whole lot more. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with anyone you know who loves their animals and wants to save a little cash while doing it. Until next time, keep your animals happy, healthy, and thriving the Amish way.